We'll start with the Cook Political Report out with a new look at the 2024 race and the issues that matter most to likely swing state voters. In a new survey that is out today, Donald Trump has a lead within the margin of error in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. And he and President Joe Biden are tied in Wisconsin. Swing state voters say the economy is the issue that matters most to them, with their own cost of living being the best way to measure it. They also say they are more worried about Biden setting economic policy than about Trump setting abortion policy.
Hey everybody, this is Troy over at Uncomfortable Truths. Thanks for checking me out. So today we have to talk about what's going on over at Joe Biden's favorite show, Morning Joe, because they're absolutely losing their mind because Donald Trump is winning in almost every single swing state. And frankly, that's because voters are more worried about the economy than anything else. Maybe it's because they're having trouble paying for their outrageous rent, utilities, and also even basic things like groceries. So of course, it makes sense that the people are going to look back at Trump pretty fondly because when Trump was president, it wasn't that hard to pay for all of these things. And now that Joe Biden is president, all of these things are practically unattainable. We went from having about a 2.5% rate on the mortgages to now we're over 7%. So this shouldn't come as any surprise to anybody that's actually interested in the economy. And MSNBC is actually going to go on and try to convince you that no, the economy is actually doing really well, even though you can't afford to pay for really anything, even though your rent is outrageous. For young people, they may never be able to afford to buy a house, but MSNBC is going to tell you, no, you're wrong, and you should be voting for Biden, and you should be thankful to be in this economy. So let's go ahead and watch.
These voters saying they're more worried about Biden setting economic policy than about Trump setting abortion policy. And if anyone thinks that it can't get worse, it can. I mean, the birth control, Plan B, all these things are on the line.
Yeah, and I mean, I bet like Molly, I definitely would love to see how this breaks down on gender lines, because as we know, women are more likely to turn out in elections. So sometimes this is one place where, especially like the smaller polls in swing states get a little off base, is that it discounts then like what the actual turnout factor is. But it's not to discount this. Look, I think on the undecided voters, we've been hearing this for a while. There've been a bunch of focus groups. My colleague Mark Halpern's been doing a lot of these, looking at what's happening with these undecideds. When you look at Arizona, I think there's going to be some interesting dynamics relative to the ballot initiative there, which I think has the potential to change the turnout factors, right? So we know that Democrats benefit from turnout. But look, there's no question, like Biden cannot seem to get any wind under his sails on the economy. Like no one believes him. And we heard Steve Ratner earlier, just like the basic wrong information that people have about the state of the economy. It's really remarkable.
So this lady from MSNBC is out of her mind. Basically, she's throwing her hands up and she's saying, hey, look, well, maybe Trump's base just won't come out and vote for him. Maybe all of our side will come out and vote and their side won't. This is completely delusional. The idea that Trump's base isn't going to show up it's out of this world crazy. This lady's crazy. She's basically coming out and saying, well, on election day, maybe our side's going to come out and the other side's not going to show up at all because women actually tend to be more likely to vote for Biden. Well, first off, a lot of women are voting for Trump. And second, you may not like it, but men actually do get to vote in the United States. So even if you don't like the fact that they're voting for somebody that you don't agree with, their votes are still going to be counted. And second, I have no idea where this lady gets off on this idea that, oh, well, the economy is actually doing fantastic. You see, all of us here at MSNBC, we all got together. We talked to our economists who all absolutely love Joe Biden and hate Donald Trump. And we are telling you that the economy is actually really good. Don't worry about inflation. It's not actually that big of a deal. You're actually doing super well economically. Well, yeah, that shit works for these people because they don't have real jobs. They're paid to sit around and not really do a whole lot of work. They're paid significant amounts of money to do so. And you know what? More power to them. They found somebody willing to cut them a check. I'm very happy for them. Great. But that doesn't actually help everyday people that are showing up, trying to buy their groceries, trying to pay their bills and live their lives. And they see that the cost is going up. So no matter what you do or how many times you tell them, no, the economy is actually doing really well. You're actually doing great. Once they're not able to pay their rent, or when they see that they're not able to afford the steaks that they used to be getting every weekend, yeah, they know that the economy's not doing that well. You can't bullshit people when it comes to money because there's actually a hard reality that they are dealing with. So these tactics that they're taking are basically to say, well, maybe our side's going to show up and their side's not going to show up, despite the fact that Republicans and even a lot of independents now absolutely love Trump. And that doesn't even count for the people that are saying, hey, look, I don't like Trump, but there's no way that I'm voting for Biden. So those people are either going to stay at home or they're just going to hold their nose and vote for Trump anyway, knowing that things were better under Trump than they are under Biden and the Democrats that are handling him. So since none of this stuff is working, the next thing they're going to do is, after saying that, no, the economy is really good thanks to Biden, they're going to do a complete 180 and say, well, presidents don't have any control over the economy. So let's check out what their latest argument is going to be. And keep in mind, all of this is in the same segment. So they're literally just throwing shit at the wall to see what's going to stick.
How they think about politics right now. It's the lens through which they are viewing this election. And that helps Donald Trump a lot, not just because they think that Donald Trump would be better on the economy, but they really do believe that the president himself has more power over controlling inflation and prices than a president actually does have. Almost 60% of voters in this poll think that President Biden himself does have control over how much stuff costs.
All right, so there you have it. MSNBC journalism at its absolute finest. So the economy is actually doing really, really well thanks to President Joe Biden, and we should all be grateful to him for doing such a good job. But even if the economy isn't doing well, in that case, then I guess presidents really don't have that much say over the economy or over inflation, so we shouldn't blame Joe Biden for that. No, that would be absolutely ridiculous. And in almost every single swing state, Donald Trump is absolutely destroying President Biden, but that doesn't mean that he's going to win the election. But even if he does win the election, that's only because Americans are stupid and they don't understand how wonderful the Democrats are actually doing. And that's why we're here at MSNBC to tell you, no, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't think that you understand the economy just because you're pulling more money out of your wallet to pay your bills every month. You don't understand the big picture somehow. So this is what passes for journalism at this point in our country when you watch the mainstream media. This is looking like it's going to be a landslide for Donald Trump if things don't improve and if the Biden administration doesn't actually take steps to get the economy under control. And honestly, they're running out of time. They've had years and years to actually take care of some of this stuff, and they've done absolutely nothing but make things worse for everyday Americans. And that's the reason why Donald Trump is up in the polls, and Biden will likely lose the upcoming election. So everybody, that's what I have for you. Do me a favor, hit like and subscribe and tell me what you thought of the video, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.